Hi everyone, you're in a little bit of magic, and this is a magical experience because I just had the opportunity to meet Louis Michot from the Lost Bayou Ramblers, and Louis Michot is he won. How many Grammys have you won?
Only two.
Only two. Only two. But we are here in New Orleans. I wasn't even supposed to be here in New Orleans on this trip, but we're here for the 50th anniversary of the American Folklife Center, standing out of Jean Lafitte National Historic Park and Reserve Visitor Center in New Orleans in the French Quarter. Louis is getting ready to play. Louis, just tell me what brings you in today for this. Why do you feel like you'd like to celebrate here today with your music?
Well, you know, Cajun and Creole music is part of American folk life, and I think that, you know, folk life in general is super important because it holds so much information, knowledge, and history, and it's the things we really need to be holding on to as the world advances so fast. You know, you got to know what to pull forward.
Right. And I feel that your music, I mean, I am a huge fan of your music. In fact, I shared with you that I have it on my playlist as I'm journeying across America because it just lifts my spirits so much, especially going through this region. And I listen to it often just to brighten up my spirits. But I feel that your music is just beyond entertainment. Like, what is the message or the spirit of your music that you want to convey and share with the world?
You know, music is so essential, and it's hard to put a value on. You know, it's hard to say why music is important.
Yeah.
I feel a need for expression, and I feel that it's something that changed, music's something that changed my life, and something that brought meaning to my life as a listener and someone to experience it. And I've been a musician most of my life, so I love being able to share the music that I was raised with and my original music and my own values and perspective and feelings and melodies and all that. I love to be able to share that with people and see how it affects people, you know, and because it affects me, it makes me feel better. If I don't get to play for a few weeks, like I've actually been off for over a week now, and I'm ready to make some music.
Really?
And when if I don't play for a few weeks, especially, it's like as soon as I get back to it, like, oh, why did it take me so long? It's like I was missing something. It's like when you do something good for yourself, like, why don't I do this every day? And that's the beauty about music. It's just
it brightens your own soul.
Completely. It's a way to tap into yourself and connect with other people, and it's so momentary, but it's so real. Like it happens and then it's gone, but it's like we all felt it and we were all there together.
Yeah, like you're creating magic in the moment all the time. You speak French.
I do.
Right. Are you a native French speaker? Did you learn French growing up?
I learned later in life. My great-grandpa was the last of our family to be bilingual or francophone by birth, maternal language. He was of the generation after World War I. He was in World War I, and after that they started Americanization. And Americanization, he was a teacher, and he was the one who enforced Americanization, only English in schools. So he didn't let my grandpa, who I have all their names, they're all Louis Michots.
Really?
My great-grandpa, my grandpa, and then my grandpa was raised in English, and then my dad and them learned French on their own, and I learned French on my own. And I have another Louis Michot behind me, who's 14 now, and he's learning a little French. So it's something that you really have to find for yourself. And it's been 30 years that I've been learning and still
Really?
learning.
Oh, is it French, pure French, or is it French Creole?
We call it Louisiana French now.
Okay.
There's Cajun, Creole, Côte-d'Ivoire, different dialects, and it's all French. Like I can speak French with anyone who speaks French in any dialect. There's a few Creoles that are pretty wild out there, but overall it's all French, and it's just there's almost as many dialects as there are people that speak French in Louisiana. They're all a little bit different.
With your music, are you helping revolutionize or bringing back French culture and language in the United States?
I'm doing my little part I think I'm doing my little part to give it a vehicle. Like music has been the biggest transmitter of French in Louisiana. Without the music, it would be just kind of like a novelty, I feel. But with the music, French is given celebrity, it's given excitement, you know, and it's because of the music that so many people learn French and keep it alive. And the same in my case. I fell in love with French through the music, and I played the music before I could speak French as a bass player of my family band, Les Frères Michot, the Michot brothers.
Oh, cool.
But when I started playing fiddle was right when I started learning French for myself. I was 18 years old, And so I learned to play the melodies and sing the songs at the same time as I learned French. So,
Oh, that's a beautiful way to learn a language, right?
no, definitely, yes, through music, and it's and it's so, and that's the thing about music is expressions. You know, it's people expressing their emotions, and kind of one of the things about this music, it's one of the only safe spaces for grown men to express themselves.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I find spaces everywhere, but it's when a grown man starts yelling and crying in a high voice, like he has something to say.
Yeah, so true. Do you have any plans in the future, or what your goals are with your music, or what you like to realize as you're going forward, or are you just letting it roll?
Yeah, well, it's always new, and that's the beauty of it. And as an artist, like someone asked me the other day, "You working on anything new?" And my response was, "If I'm not, then I'm in trouble."
Right.
Because I mean, obviously, people love what they're familiar with. So like our old songs, people know us by them, but it's the new songs that is sharing the new experience, and it takes a while for people to catch on. When they hear your new material, they're like, "Oh, I like your old material," and then 10 years later, they're like, "Play your old material," which is referring to the new stuff 10 years ago. So it's always that kind of cycle, and just being able to tell my story or reflect what I see in the world that needs to be said, and also keeping the language going, not only through the songs, but through bringing new vocabulary, and that has to do with either, like, say, coastal erosion or history, and not just love and loss, but really trying to expand the vocabulary of the musical language.
Right. I noticed that you care deeply about the environment, correct, and preserving
it's
it.
Definitely, it's like it's what basically all we got,
Right.
So, I mean,
know.
That's
So you're really serving multiple missions with your music, I feel, right? It's like, I think it's deeply ingrained in you and your passion, and how beautiful. Really, thank you for sharing your music with the world. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your music, about the genre
I think.
or French Cajun culture?
Yeah, I think that we all have a unique perspective, and that's the beauty of music. It is a universal language, and it doesn't matter what I'm singing about. Even if they don't understand, people don't understand the lyrics, they understand the emotion and the expression behind it.
Okay, well, you are so humble and kind. I mean, I just met you, and for you to just sit down with me and talk with me off the cuff, just spontaneously, and give up your time, I'm so appreciative, and it really speaks to the person you are as well as a musician. So
it's a pleasure, and great to meet you. And
thank you.
I think it's our time to play.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
See me. I'm learning Zydeco dancing. So
that's right.
All right. Thank you.
How long don't say?
What does that mean?
Let's dance.
Yeah, let's dance. Thank you, Louis. What a pleasure and an honor. Really, truly.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Summer, really an honor to go represent and play at the Festival Interceltique de Lorient. It's the Inter-Celtic Festival in Lorient, France in August. And it's held in Brittany, in Lorient, Brittany. And of course over there they went through a lot of the same things we did here in Louisiana, but instead of not being able to speak French, they couldn't speak Breton and Gallo, their native Celtic languages. And they've done an amazing work keeping it going and keeping the languages alive in Brittany, France. And this festival is all Celtic based. They're not into the French side, But we go in there singing Louisiana French, and as we say in Louisiana French, "Tu passes par la porte d'en arrière," you can get in through the back door. And they recognize us as the Acadian side, enough Celtic in there to be worthy of playing the Inter-Celtic Festival. And we're gonna play a song right now that both goes back to that area of France. And anytime I play this song and there's people from Brittany, they start doing the fez-naws where they lock arms and they do this amazing old pagan looking dance. And this is a song that talks about my family, the Michots. Even though our Michots weren't from Brittany, we were from the Loire Valley, but before we came to New Orleans and through Haiti. And the Jument de Michot is called this song, and it's about the Michot's mare, because their horse ate all of the hay in the summer, and when the winter came, she repented. Much like my family, any food around, I used to call, my dad and them were from a family of 10, and his dad was from a family of 10. And You know, the in-laws called us the locusts, because anytime we'd come in, and even when I got to go to my grandpa's, Pat, hide the food. You know, anyway, so it's a family tradition, even with the horses, apparently. But here's something called Louis Michot. Thank y'all so much. As we were playing that, I just remembered how Layla McCall and I got to perform that at the Library of Congress last March. A little over a year ago, we got to go and perform at the Library of Congress. We have some of them here today, celebrating with us. Thanks for coming down. And so Layla and I recorded with each other on a project by the New Foundation right down the street here called Musique that brought all these different Louisiana dialects into one album. Really cool project, and we were very, very honored to be able to represent that project with the Library of Congress. We played that song, and it's so cool because, you know, speaking of the Michots going through Haiti, that's where Layla's family, you know, came from, and the Dupuis, and other Dupuis. Moi, Bruce, on t'appelle parler de notre cousin, our mutual cousin, who's also a Dupuis from Avoyelles Parish. How about a hand for Bruce Degrapont, y'all? I meant to say that earlier. So, such a great lineup y'all got here, so thank y'all for having us be part of it. I know Mr. Jimmy Duck Holmes is coming all the way down from Bentonia, Mississippi to be here tomorrow. We're gonna do a little something that we call Cajun music is rad, Cajun music's not dead.